Welcome back to another episode of Opinionated Podcast Off Topic. I'm here with my co-host Cam Theory.
What's good, everyone?
Other host Carlos Mojica, as you know us.
Hope you guys are having a lovely Friday.
Yes, sir. They probably won't see this video on a Friday.
Yeah, but it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday for us. We're here with our special guest, Boss Mustang.
What's up, everybody?
His real name's Devon Hefner, by the way, but
yeah.
he goes by Boss Mustang.
Plug in the Xbox. Yeah.
I guess we'll get into a little bit of that here in the podcast. But yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into this. So we've all been friends for a very long time.
Unfortunately.
Just want to talk about your background and kind of where you came from and what you've been doing and how you got to where you're at right now.
Alrighty, sounds good.
So, with the first question,
that was
the
first question.
But, what's your background?
Yeah,
where are you from?
Tell us a little bit about young Devon Hefner and his little wee boy age.
So young little Asian Dev grew up in Pflugerville. I went to McCall Elementary, then went out to shout out to the Ville. Went to Parkcrest Middle School and then went to high school at Pflugerville High School.
We had Coach Sprinkler, boy.
Had to pee in the middle of a football game.
You did?
Nah. You don't remember that Coach Poole? He ran up to us and he had to shit himself in the middle of us about to start a football game.
What year was that? Coach Poole? Freshman year?
Yeah. Oh, see, I wasn't that funny.
Yeah, he was at Stony Point.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
we don't bring up Stony Point. But so I grew up in Pflugerville, and then I've known Cam since, freshman year of high school?
Yeah, we met through Xbox.
Yeah, we played Xbox together, COD buddies for a while. I used to think he had an afro until I met him. We met at a training camp, and then I've known Carlos since
seventh grade.
Middle grade. School. So yeah, I grew up in Pflugerville. Mom, dad, sister, brother, always had pets. I didn't do anything really special, just went through school like everybody else, and got into cars and stuff like that.
I mean, playing sports is kind of special.
You did play sports, I did. Crazy athletic when I first met you.
So unfortunately, I don't look as athletic as I used to look, but in middle school, I did everything possible: basketball, track, football, and.
Did you play sports like besides school, like outside of school? Or no?
Growing up, I played soccer. Was the first sport I ever got into. I did that for about 3 or 4 years, and then I transitioned to playing basketball with PYBA.
Yeah,
I played there for 3 years, and then I went on to a select team for 2 years. Lost the passion for it. I stopped growing, and everybody else kept growing, so it got a lot harder, man.
I mean, you're a little bit taller than me, but hey.
Tiny terrorist.
At that time, I was getting to the age where I realized I liked to watch football, so then I really wanted to play football. Unfortunately, I started slacking off in school when I was in 6th grade, and my dad didn't allow me to play football, so I had to wait until high school to play. So
cool.
So you played. Did you play basketball in high school, or you stopped?
I stopped playing. So I did soccer before I got into any middle school or high school activities. Once I got into middle school, I ran track. I did all the relays as a first leg. And then I did.
Oh, so you was fast.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's all right.
Were you faster than Cam?
No.
Oh, hell yeah! At that time,
I remember.
Cam wasn't on the juice until high school. So
wait, you were on the juice?
Yeah,
he never was on the juice.
No wonder he's so big.
Selling wolf tickets now.
Hey, I mean, he got them on his arm. Shit, might as well sell them.
Hey man, so yeah, I did that in middle school. I did basketball, track. I did football. Started football in 7th grade on B team. Didn't know how to play any type of football. Didn't know any of the holes.
Boy, you're running like Barry Sanders.
That was your first position. I was going to ask you.
Yeah, so the first position I ever played was tailback. In middle school, we only ran the same 3 plays all the time, so I got the ball all the time. And at that time, I was faster than everybody else, at least on B team where all the scrubs stayed. So we just run like a 28 pitch or a 29 pitch to the sideline and just run it up the field. From there, I ended up transitioning to playing defense. I played outside linebacker, and I went through that position all the way throughout high school. I think I like defense more for the fact that I didn't like getting hit, and once I stepped up and went on to A-team and got plastered by a kid in middle school and gave me a concussion, I realized that the offensive side of the ball was not for me.
See, I was the opposite. I liked getting hit.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That's cracking.
Like, that's what got me going, was getting hit.
Hey, but that's ended up what I
don't know.
I couldn't imagine. I got plastered. My grandma saw me get plastered. She yelled at the refs for not letting me play anymore, but I know I had a concussion, so I stopped playing. Offensively, went defensively. Basketball, I played small forward. Shocker.
Wait, you knew you had a concussion?
Oh,
and
I
you
knew
sat
for a
out?
fact. I blacked out for like 7
So
seconds.
you were out of there
Yeah.
for sure.
If
Well, my
anybody-
thing is like not many people would like
Come out.
stay out. They'll come back in.
Nah, I knew I was rocked.
But even then, they still know they'll
they
come
tried
back
to put-
in.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
And like
But
you at a young age,
after
it's actually
blacking
like
out, I was just
that's like really
man.
smart for you to just like sit out
Yeah.
because, like I said, not many people would.
I couldn't
sit
even
out.
realize what was up and what was down. Like my head hurt so bad, and so they pulled up like
I've
a
had a
little
concussion
lawn chair.
before. I feel yes.
I mean,
it's
you
not.
remember, y'all
it's
remember
not-
Dessau
it's
Middle
not
School?
fun.
You
Yeah.
remember Dessau
Yeah.
Middle School? They had that big hill in the middle of their
Yeah.
field, and you had to run up it, and that's exactly where I got hit by some dude that was like, in my mind, he was about 3,000 pounds when he plastered me, but I mean, he was probably like 200 at the time. But
I mean, it's still massive in middle
Yeah.
school.
So what made you? I know we and you played football
Mhm.
and Carlos, but me and you played varsity together.
Yep.
You ended up playing half of your senior year. What made you kind of
So,
get off of that, stop
unfortunately,
playing?
when I got into high school, I don't want to say unfortunately, actually, the turn of events was that I got into a relationship, and that was towards the end of the beginning of my sophomore year. And at the end of sophomore year is when I got moved up to varsity that summer, going into junior year. And I got a little too wrapped up in the relationship I was in, and it took its toll on me.
Shake my head.
Financially,
In high school?
Shake
in
my
high school,
head.
yeah, man. So like financially, it was
Shake
stressful, and just
my
real
head.
world, it was stressful. But you know, just being high school, you
How
start.
you gonna let a
liking
girl take you away from the sports?
people. Hey, dude, you fall in love, dude. It's
I
unspeakable
feel
sometimes. Hey.
Hey.
Well, regardless,
I just know Tina didn't take Cam away.
hey, you're right.
Hey.
All I'm saying is
They're out
that
there
the
away.
turn of events is that ended up happening. I didn't get wrapped up in it till like junior year. I ended up hurting my knee. I had a minor tear in my meniscus and a minor crack in my patella, and so I was out for probably about 4 months. But like most people my age, were too hard headed to actually sit out and enjoy the game and enjoy just the atmosphere that it brings. And so I went back in a lot, way too early, and ended up actually hurting myself, like to a point where it got painful to walk, it got painful to stand. I didn't want to go out and do anything. I got sort of depressed because I went from starting at outside linebacker to pretty much being like a 4th-string bench warmer. And then by the time junior year,
Keep that bitch warm.
my butt cheeks kept it super warm.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And,
That's
uh,
what you're there for,
but
baby.
But you started our first game of our senior year when we played Bowie. I remember.
So I started the first 3 games of
Yeah,
my senior
you
year.
did start your
and
our
then I
senior
ended
year.
up, I forgot what happened. I think I got sick for one
Yeah, that's what happened.
one
Yeah.
game, and I went from 1st string all the way down to like 4th string.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being was that I didn't show up to the practice before, and I didn't have a doctor's note.
And you didn't communicate.
I didn't communicate, I guess, and I understand like where they were
Yeah.
coming from, so there was no hate there. But for me to go from 1st to 4th string without
That's
doing,
a little
with doing
drastic,
something
especially
major,
talent
I
wise.
just feel like at that point they're just looking for a reason to like not play.
Yeah,
you.
and I mean, it was just one of those things where I came back, and then they try to do a position switch on me. So they try to go, taking someone from a position that they've played for the last 5-6 years and trying to tell me that they wanted to transition me to fullback. Obviously, I don't like getting hit, so I wasn't really a fan of it. But at the time, I was just like, cool, like I'll just do it for a game or whatever, and then I'd get moved back to my position. Unfortunately, I think my positions coach didn't like me very much. The tech guy
Sisson?
Albert
Yes,
would let
sir.
him know he ran him over for me. Shout out to
Hey, that
shout out to
man,
Albert.
it took that man like 30 seconds to
Yeah,
fall
this
down.
man fell down. He fell down in slow motion, and then yelled at Albert.
He's
But,
like, oh.
And then
Turned
so,
back.
unfortunately, I don't think he liked me.
Haven't you ran into him recently? I think you told me that.
Dude, I've ran into this guy probably about 10 times at my local Shell gas station, and he always
My
says
local
he
Shell
always
gas
says
station.
the same thing. And for probably the last
gonna
6 months that I've seen him, he's told me, "Hey Hefner, how you doing? Where'd
Cam
you
got
take
my
your talents?"
difficulties as always.
Yeah, facts. But unfortunately, he'd asked me where I took my talents, like he didn't know that he
Say
benched
South
me.
Beach?
Yeah, like I took him to technical school
Well,
and started huffing paint. So
that was kind of my next question. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so you didn't go to college for football or sports in general?
No,
What
so-
did you go to college for?
yeah, so after high school, like I said, I was real devoted in certain crafts that I do. So if anybody knows me personally, they know that I'm a big gearhead and that I like to do anything with cars and the nature of cars.
Yeah.
And so after high school, I actually ended up going to Austin Community College. And the reason
Anybody can come, baby.
Hey, yeah, facts. And the reason
That's what that shit stands for?
It stands for Austin Community
Austin
College.
Community, ACC, bro.
Oh, I know that.
That's
But
like
I was like,
that's
oh,
just
what
like
the hell? I was like, it's news to me.
That's what
All right,
people.
go ahead.
That's what people
Sorry.
say. Is anybody can come.
Continue.
Unfortunately, growing up in the family that I had, all my siblings were very, I guess what's the word? They were
Book
very
smart?
Yeah, they were book smart. My dad
So
was.
you're the dumb one.
Yeah, I guess you could say it, but I'd probably make more
Said
than
it.
all of them. So
Not your dad.
not my dad. Yeah,
Dad is
my dad
goated.
shits on me.
Oh man, your
Yeah,
mom
so-
worked for your mom.
She drives the LC 500, so she's doing
She ain't
good.
got to do much.
She
So
ain't gotta
you
do
can make
shit.
more than her. She ain't got to
Yeah,
do anything.
so my sister graduated with honors from Texas State. My brother graduated with honors from UTSA, and then my dad was top 1% at UT when he went to college. So me getting out of high school, I automatically assumed I had to go to a 4-year college.
Yeah.
And it put a lot of pressure on me because at that time I didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't think anybody really knows what they want to do when
I don't
they get
think
out
you
of school.
ever know
Especially
what
at
you want to
18.
do.
No one does.
Like
I think you just got
No, I just in general.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever know what you want to do,
For sure.
That's true. So you fully.
and that's why I personally don't like college because
Yeah.
they make you pick something when you don't even know if you want it.
Yeah, and I think everybody has their own pace of what they learn, like they have a passion for, and I don't think it's something that should be on track with your education system.
Oh, I got passion, baby.
Yeah, there's people that take 40 years to realize what they want to do, and that's cool. Everyone's got their own pace, but coming out of a family like that, I think I had a standard where I thought I had to be on the same level as them.
Yeah.
And to that degree, I thought I needed to go to a 4-year university and get a bachelor's degree. And unfortunately, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I applied to a couple of schools. The only one that I actually even would have considered going to was Texas State. And out of the 7 I applied to, Texas State denied me. It was the one school that
How the hell you get denied by Texas State?
I feel like everyone goes there.
They
It's
got
a
too
local
many
school.
A's. I'm saying I got accepted to Tech. I got accepted to Cal. What was the other one?
Cal.
Yeah,
I
California.
should have went there.
Dude.
Honestly,
University
that
of
tuition
Hawaii.
would have been
Knows how to
stupid.
party.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
unfortunately
This guy.
they denied me, and so I think that put me in the mindset that I wasn't good enough for school. And so what I did was I went to Austin Community College. I was majoring in entrepreneurship with a minor in business management. And so
Wait, you can major in entrepreneurship?
What do they teach you in those kind of classes?
So realistically, they teach you all the things that you should be taught in high school. They teach you how to manage money. They tell you how to invest in stocks and stuff like that.
That should be taught in school in general. No matter
100%.
what school it
Doesn't
is.
matter
It should
what
be
you're
taught
gonna-
in school in general. Whether it's entrepreneurship or
Yeah.
like a regular basic class, it should be taught. They
Especially
teach you
like-
how to live.
Yeah.
You have to take some freshman class that teach you like
Yeah.
how to live on your own or whatever. But like,
I had to take it. Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
essentials class. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's well needed.
They teach
Just
you like how to cook
finances.
Yeah.
and stuff
Natural
like that.
finances, credit, all that stuff needs to be taught. People don't know that
yeah.
coming out of college.
But they like teach the wrong thing in that freshman class.
Yeah. So unfortunately, when I went there, I was in a classroom that was probably maybe 600 square feet, so not too big, but it was packed with 35 kids, and so there was kids not even sitting in desks. And you get in an environment like that, you get distracted and you can't learn. I ended up finishing my first semester there, passed with flying colors. It was just basic classes, nothing too crazy. They taught me money management. It's not stuff that I didn't already know, but it gave me depth into things.
Well,
that I
with
could
your
learn.
dad's background, that's
Yeah,
that benefited you a
for everyone
lot.
that doesn't know, my dad's owned an accounting firm for 30 years, so he's been pretty frugal with money. He doesn't flaunt anything, but the guy's been on top of me as far as having good credit and taking care of debt and student loans and all that stuff. So I've had a very
If you're not
wise-
educated on credit or any of that stuff, get educated because that is important.
that's going to run your life until the day you die. So I mean, it's something you need to educate yourself on for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so ended up going there that first semester and had a blast. It was all right. I mean, it's not, Texas State, and it's not a party school. It was just go to school, get home, and go to work. I used to go to class at 5 in the morning, and I'd get off at 11. And at that time, I was working at GameStop. I was one of those nerds behind the counters selling video games to other nerds, and I did that for about 4 months. Ended up quitting my job. Went back for my second semester at ACC and realized that I hated it. It wasn't the fact that I was getting up or anything. It was the fact that I thought I was getting taught stuff that I already knew. And I know that sounds like very cocky and arrogant, but growing up the way I did and with the dad that I have, they were trying to pretty much preach to me stuff that is, if you have common sense, basic necessity to know.
Definitely.
And so I told my dad that I didn't want to go anymore, and he's one of those old school guys that pretty much tells you, like, hey, if you're not going to go to school, then you got a couple of options. And they were join the Army or Marines, wherever, go to a force.
Get the hell out.
Or Job Corps, go somewhere and learn a trade. And that actually really was like a big door for me. And at the time, I was dating somebody, and that person was actually very supportive in my matter of wanting to go to a trade school.
Mm-hmm.
She actually did a lot of research into the school that I went, and that was Texas State Technical College, located in Waco. And she did a lot of the hard part for me because I'm not a research type of guy. I was just like, cool, I'll go to a tech school. I didn't dig into it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
She did a lot of
You're
that.
just going to apply anywhere.
Exactly, and I'll just go to a tech school, and I'll just learn the trade that I love to do. And so her and my dad are actually the ones that set it all up, and then she ended up making it real easy for me. I just applied, and I ended up, everybody gets in, you pay your tuition, and you're in there. It's Texas State, but for technical college.
Yeah.
And so they made it real easy for me, and that's where I ended up going. Did you have fun there? I had a blast. It's probably, if I could go back, I would, and I probably will to learn another trade. But the people that I met there, the instructors that I had, and just the environment was pretty awesome.
So what did you learn there? What's your profession now? Like what do you do?
So technically on paper, I guess I'm an auto body painter or an auto body refinisher. I'm master certified.
What is that?
So what that means is according to like PPG and Sherwin-Williams, which are well-known paint companies, in order to spray products from them on certain cars, you have to get certified for each individual brand. So if you want to spray Lexus, BMW, Maserati, whatever it is, you have to get certified for each brand because each install procedure is different. And so what I ended up doing while I was in tech school...
You can take breaths in between talking. He ain't got
He
ain't got to die on us.
It's the first time. Don't hassle me.
He ain't got to die on us, dog. Sheesh.
So I ended up doing that.
Do some CPR out
here. RIP. Hey, don't be laughing over there, bro. And so I got certified through school. They gave us a couple of options as far as what we could get certified in. So they had basic stuff like Honda, Toyota, just the lower end vehicles that everybody is real easy to work on. And then from there, they gave you the opportunity to work on higher end cars.
That's the earnings potential.
Correct. And so I would say a big factor in it was a lot of people couldn't afford to get certified because you had to pay $300 to take the class to get certified. And a lot of the people that were there were coming from backgrounds that didn't have money or their family didn't have money.
Yeah.
And, of course, my
and
dad...
this is in general, or this is like at certain dealerships?
So this is at any dealership that you will go to. If they have a like a collision center or like a rapid repair, if their painters aren't certified, then they can get in a lot of trouble. So spending the time to get certified and spending that $300 is like nothing compared to like how much you'll gain from all of it.
Definitely. Yeah.
And where are you at? What do you...
So technically I have 26 certs on 26 different types of cars. So
wow, that's crazy.
Anywhere from Lexus to Toyota to Honda to BMW.
What's the
Mercedes.
highest car you have?
So right now the highest one that I'm certed in, I guess if we were going off of like a value of a car, is Aston Martin.
Wow.
They flew out a technician from their plant that brings their paint because every high-end vehicle or most high-end vehicles have a specific way to apply their paint, and Aston Martins are built with carbon fiber and composites, so it's a lot different than spraying like an aluminum fender or something like that. And so they gave us a 4-day class, and then you had to test at the end of the class in order to get certified. And honestly, I think it's pretty easy, but it comes pretty natural to me. For someone else, it might be a little difficult, but I think if you like keep doing it, you can learn.
Yeah. Well, when I ask where you're at, like, what dealership are you at? Like, are you at a dealership, or do you like do your own thing?
Correct. So technically, I'm at a dealership. I'm at Lexus of Lakeway. I started out at Lexus.
Oh, you on the rich area?
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
get free clout out here, free press.
Go Cavs.
At Lexus USA on Instagram. No, so I actually was working at a shop in Pflugerville called Burley's. They're a real high-end shop that does a lot of high-end vehicles, but at that point, I wasn't doing any type of paint work. I was just a prepper, and what that means is that I would get like a bumper or something, and I would do the repair on it, and then I would prime it and block it, but I'd give it to somebody else to paint it.
Yeah. So did that doing the prepper, does that help you experience-wise?
Oh yeah, so just getting my hands on stuff and actually just putting like my craft to work, I think it's beneficial regardless of what you do. I mean, I could have been painting wheels or doing anything, and it would have helped. So from there, I transitioned to Lexus of Austin, And what's funny is I didn't go to like a collision center. I went into their parts department because I was still going to tech school. And so I worked in the parts department about 3 months, hated it. It was hot, it was nasty, it was 3 stories underground, and the elevator didn't work, so I'd carry tires up and down 3 flights of stairs all day long. And so I ended up quitting there, and I ended up doing my own thing.
Yep.
If anybody's familiar, if anybody's familiar, since I was about 16, I've been doing vinyl wraps and liquid wraps on vehicles, boats, motorcycles, and
you can look at the camera too. You have to
I've been going through like Facebook and all that stuff. So I mean,
the fans what they want to see.
I've been plugging myself, but I mean, Facebook, Instagram.
Where can they find you at? What do you have an Instagram?
So my Facebook business profile.
We're gonna put all your stuff in the description down below, but just also let them know.
I'm gonna plug it anyway.
Yeah, definitely plug it anyway. But we're gonna put it in the video.
Oh, facts. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so on Facebook, the business page is Hefner's Automotive Customs at Facebook, and then my Instagram is Hefner's Automotive Customs. I don't really keep up to date with the Instagram page, but my
tough. You need to.
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly, a lot of people our age are on Instagram, but a lot of more people with money are on Facebook.
That's
all the
true.
old folks.
But
are
you
on
also
Facebook.
have to like reach to the platform of. Sorry, our cameraman is
acting a fool.
Yeah,
he's looking pretty swole though. I'll say it.
You just have to, but you have to just get yourself out there though. You have to be on multiple things. That's like if it's money or not, at least your name's getting out there. It's word of mouth. That's all.
I think the best way to get your name out there is to provide quality work. It doesn't matter if I'm on any social media.
100% definitely.
The first 3 years that I started doing it, I mean, I wasn't on social media. Period.
Yeah.
I thought it was full of drama, and I just wasn't about it. And so everything that I did was word of mouth. And it carried me to do over 200 cars my first 3 years.
Yeah. But it helps so much just because of the content aspect of it.
For sure.
Content goes such a long way.
Well, just nowadays, like, you can say you wrap a car and it's, like, crazy looking. Maybe you put it on Twitter or something and just blows up, gets a bunch of retweets.
Yeah, there's just,
like,
you
can
have
go
that
viral
one.
at any moment, and then
you
can just be put on immediately.
And then from there is, like, when you get your quote-unquote success, I mean, you can get your quote-unquote success.
Yeah.
And, like, that's when you start getting 3,000 customers a year.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
And then you can
6 months, whatever the case is,
like,
you know?
branch off and do
So
your own
unfortunately,
thing.
with the field that I'm in, I think there's a lot of competition, and I don't say that in a
But
bad
that's going to
way.
be any field, you know?
for sure. But I also think that
like,
the field I'm in, I think it's crowded with a lot of, it sounds bad, but a lot of wannabes. And what I mean by that is that people that produce non-quality work, and it gives people like
look at
myself,
the field we're in.
Very true.
Look what
There's
we're
people
doing.
that produce content that sucks, and there's other people that don't get as much clout and produce the best content.
Or they want to start something and they just
so,
half-ass it.
I mean, everybody can relate to somebody always making the comment that someone else does it cheaper. And I get that 9 times out of 10 that I talk to people is, oh, well, I have somebody that'll do it for half of that. And that's fine. I don't even invest time into those types of people.
And that's good that you're not going down on your price or your word, because that way you do that, then it's going to get to the other person. Oh, he did it for me for this price.
Exactly. And unfortunately,
you lose money that way.
I don't care what anybody says. If you are on a price and you know your price point, 9 times out of 10, those people aren't going to price gouge. I don't price gouge at all. I take my material cost and I usually double it. So me spending my labor time on it is double my material cost, and you'll never hear that. You go to a shop and usually they're charging twice as much on labor because they have overhead, they have employees to pay. They have a lot more to deal with. And I do
own that space.
Correct, and I do it out of Bastrop where my other property's at. So, I mean, I don't have overhead. I don't have employees. I do it all myself. So I save a lot of money that way. And I just don't feed into that type of negativity towards me. And I think I produce quality work to where people can keep arguing with me, and I don't care. I'm just not going to fall for it.
So you kind of have your own business. You work at Lexus. Yep. You went to school for cars. What was it that got you into, like, loving cars? Because that's what it sounds like. You just love cars.
Oh yeah. So
like at the beginning you said you're a gearhead. Like what was it that made you just love it?
So I guess I'll take it back to, like, my brother was about 15 years old, and he is 7 years older than me. So at that time I was about 8. He got his first car as that 65 Mustang.
Fastback.
No, it's a coupe. It's an A-code coupe that was an original 289 3-speed car, and that is now a 5-speed
technical on
302. Yeah, so I mean, it's a car.
Knowledge him up a little bit.
And fortunately for me, he was a gearhead, and my dad's. You guys know he's a little bit older. He doesn't really move very fast.
But he's into cars. He's
into
Did
cars.
he get into cars because of y'all, or was he somebody else that also got into cars? That's what made you get into cars.
He's more one of those people that buys a car and then pays someone else to sort of work on them. He knows, he's knowledgeable as far as what a car, like, motors and parts for cars, but he's never been the guy that pulls out a wrench and gets to it.
Okay.
He's an accountant. He likes sitting at the desk and
yes,
letting his money make
nice
money.
nails.
So exactly.
Yeah.
And so I got the opportunity to work on my brother's car growing up, and I guess that's what really gave me the big push is being young and getting experience in that. He let me fuck it up. I was scratching the car up. I was doing everything. So he gave me the experience there.
That's how you learn, though. So that's good he did that. That's how you learn.
You got to mess up to learn. If you don't mess up, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's cool that you put that.
So I grew up doing that, and just from that point on, every Christmas I asked for a car on my Christmas list from the time I was 8 to 15, and finally got one when I was 16. So
tell us about your first car. For a lot of people that don't know about your first car, it was pretty special what you did with it.
So that car, originally it was just a 2006 Mustang with a 4-liter aluminum block. It was nothing fancy. It had 200 horsepower on paper and maybe 160 foot-pounds of torque.
This ain't too much fancy words for me, man.
It wasn't fast.
There we go.
And it wasn't quick.
Okay, now I understand.
It was silver, so I'm not a big fan of silver cars. Yeah, more like
silver slug.
It was so fucking slow. And so, unfortunately, when I got it, my dad's not cheap. He's frugal. He's not going to go out and buy us. Yeah,
that's just the accountant.
That's the thing. He's not going to go out and buy us a $20,000 car because the odds that someone wrecks it is very high.
Especially at that age.
When you're a 16-year-old.
Yeah, that's no point.
And so,
especially you.
So I think. So he ended up buying. We ended up buying a 2006 Mustang. It was silver. Basic Mustang, looked like every other Mustang on the road. The moment I got it, I think I had maybe $1,800 saved up in my bank account. And that next morning, I spent $1,800 in car parts. And so I bought headlights, taillights, stereo, hood scoop, tires and rims.
Basically, and then you could afford
you got. I have $1,800. I need to talk to you.
Yeah, man. So you'd be surprised.
Where you get to plug that?
Yeah. So surprisingly, I got it all done, and then that's when my trade kicked in. As the car was nasty. I hate silver. I think it's a real basic color. I ended up buying some paint.
What about blue?
I'm a fan.
Hey, okay.
Plug the F-150.
Silver.
Hey.
Dark
gray, but
metallic gray.
I got you.
My car is nice.
Silver.
And then
it's not silver.
so ended up buying some paint from somebody in Austin, and ended up spending the summer working on the car. The car sat in a carport, not even a garage, not a shop, under a carport for 2 months, and I got to really invest time into doing body work and paint work. And so I prepped the entire car, sanded it, masked it up, and I painted it. And it's the first car that I ever did a full paint job on. And surprisingly, it came out extremely nice. I used very quality materials.
Yeah.
I think my materials were almost $3,000 for paint, clear, primer.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and at that time the car was maybe worth $6,000. So I had already invested more into the car than it was worth. So at that point, it's real sentimental. I drove that car.
It's your first car.
From my sophomore year all the way till the end of high school.
Yeah.
Once I went into college is when I sold her off. And the guy I sold her to, unfortunately, wrapped her around a pole 3 days later.
That's insane. It wasn't. But how quick did you get it after? Would you put it internally?
The only things that I didn't have on the car when I sold, while I owned it, was I didn't have ported manifolds, and I had shorties instead of long tubes. As far as being a naturally aspirated car, and what that means is not having forced induction.
Yeah, and tell people what naturally aspirated means.
Yeah, I was.
So for people that don't know, naturally aspirated means there's no forced induction into a vehicle, and what that means is a supercharger or a turbo, something that forces a certain amount of air into an engine to produce more combustion, and that's just making gas and air mix to explode and create more power.
Yep.
Exactly. So I didn't have any big power adders because at the time, man, there wasn't anything that I could add on to that car to even make it compete with some stuff, and so I just did everything. Basic bolt-ons, cold air intake, a tune, shorty headers, full exhaust.
Did you Bama tune your Mustang?
Definitely not. If anybody,
for me, throwing out words I ain't heard of. So Bama, that's a college.
Yeah. So we're gonna plug in John Jewett here with his Bama tune. Shittiest company to get tunes from.
Especially they make tunes for Mustang owners.
Correct. Mustangs, F-150s.
Hey,
so
good.
Ford.
It's a very cheap, not cheap, but it's a budget-friendly alternative tune. So they're box tunes, and what that means is that they just are all the same. If I buy one for my Mustang and you buy one for your Mustang, it's the same tune.
Okay.
There's nothing special about them. So I went with a company called MPT that is. It's more power tuning.
Okay.
And so they actually sent a rep out to Waco while I was in school. and they hooked up a computer to my car. We took it to the tow road there in Waco, and we just did pulls in first, second, third.
Is this on your new or old?
This would be on my new one. On my old one, I had the same tune, but it was through what was the other one? It was another company that doesn't exist anymore. They got in trouble because
that's lovely.
Yeah, they did some sketchy stuff.
What year is your Mustang now?
My new one is a 2012.
Okay.
I've had that one since my transition into college, so summer of going into my freshman year at tech school. Mm-hmm. I ended up getting it from Colleen. I got it from an Army guy who wanted a 4-door car. Mm-hmm. I got it for a steal. I only paid $5,000 cash, and at the time the car was worth $13,000.
That's super nice.
It was 6 different colors. If anybody ever saw me drive,
I remember when I first saw you. Like, you look like a Mustang.
Yeah, boy, driving a hoopty.
Yeah, dude, I didn't care. I had a new car, and it was a lot faster and a lot nicer than the one I had before that. And so I think I was just excited to have something new, and that's when I invested time and money into that one, and it's what I drive now. So.
Do you love that car?
I don't think I'll ever sell it. If anything, if I blow the motor, I'm just gonna force induction.
So you love it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So you
go
ahead.
I was gonna say, what else do you love? Like besides cars, obviously we know that you love cars. You went into that. What other hobbies do you have?
Right now, not a lot. I invest a lot of my time into my work. I go into work at 6 in the morning, and I work till most of the time 5 or 6 at night, and that's Monday through Friday. And like this weekend, I'll be going in tomorrow, so I go in Saturdays sometimes to make a little extra money.
You don't do anything in your free time? Fish, play games,
yeah, I don't
go
fish.
camping.
I'd like to start playing games again. When we were in middle school and in high school, we used to play all the time.
It used to be filthy too.
Yeah, boy, now I look like
poop on you, boy.
50 point never.
Oh.
And
what?
So, never. This man Carlos.
Put 5 on it.
25.
25? Call of Duty?
Hey, I'll be watching it.
Call of Duty?
Catch this
everybody asked Carlos about our quick scoping.
What's your
I can't quick scope, but I'll gun the hell out of you.
What's your Twitch?
25?
What's
your Twitch?
Mohica 0622.
We're going to live stream this on any social media platform.
I'm about it. 25.
$2,500.
And I'll be the podcaster.
What's the regulations?
Dude, you tell me. I'll play to your rules.
I don't care.
Child's play.
He's going to use MP5 10 milli.
You can use a gun. I'm going to quick scope you.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
And then you're going to be like your head glitch.
How long are
So
you
we
gonna
doing
hold
best
hands?
of 3? Like, I don't care. I'm making sure this deal is going through.
Look, I just want everybody to know I don't need a warm-up game. I can be off this Xbox or the PlayStation or shit. We can play on a Nintendo DS. It doesn't matter. Like,
you're getting
one game.
You're getting shit on. All right.
Anyways, one game.
You want to get back into video games?
Yeah, man. So video games, cars. I play a pretty nerdy card game. Albert's probably been waiting for me to say it back there. He actually got me into it. It's a Dragon Ball card game.
Did you get? Oh, you don't even play games. I was gonna say, did you get Kakarot or not? Because I got Kakarot.
No, I don't play that. I only play Call of Duty.
Well, Kakarot's a Dragon
Apex
Ball
Legend.
Z.
If anybody wants to play on
I'll shit on
Xbox,
you on that too.
Mustang.
He's actually cold at that game.
Yeah,
I vouch for him on that one.
Which one?
Apex. That was disgusting.
First game on. Again, off topic, but first game on, he was in Durango, dropped 15 kills. No warm up.
That's all?
No.
15 out of 75?
Only 15, bro?
Bro, out of 75?
I'm saying.
That's a lot.
I don't play unless I'm the kill leader.
It's almost a quarter.
I was the kill leader, so what are you talking about?
I wasn't in your game.
Anyways.
Okay, so... I mean, other than that, I play that card game. Albert got me into it, and I've been playing probably for the last almost year. Right now, I think everything I do is more geared towards, like, a hustle. Like, cards, it's real nice. I can buy into a set or 2 sets or 2 cases, which is, like, the amount of cards I buy. And then the moment that they drop, I have a plug that gets them to me early. And so I'll actually end up flipping them, and I'll sell them on, like, a card website where I'll sell them to locals, and then usually I can like plus 300% off of them. But I still play. I've gone to California, Orlando, and Dallas. I mean, we'll be going out to Vegas in a couple of months. So
to play.
Yeah, and I don't pay for any of it, so that's good too.
So you wouldn't consider tattoos as a hobby?
Tattoos is definitely a hobby. I mean, I think it's more of a lifestyle at this point. Yeah, so
it's a lifestyle. Ken, where's your lifestyle?
Yeah,
it's coming soon. That's a lot of paper. But Devin's plugged in.
The last 3 years.
He's got the cameraman talking.
Yeah, oh god.
Shit, I'm tatted.
It's hot in the room.
That's why I got the long sleeve on for work. Professional. You feel me?
Oh man, Jesus.
Anyways,
I'm gonna take Cam to get his first tattoo. That's for sure.
How many tats do you have? Not including. Actually, yeah. Let's include the C. You probably know the number wise, but I know you might have some besides the sleeve.
So I have the entire sleeve. I just count as one. It goes all the way around into my armpit. From there, I have a wolf, and it's like a moon. On the other chest, I have a quote.
La Luna.
On my ribs, I have a cross, and then I have an arrow. On my back, I have another sort of like a wolf portrait, as you can tell.
Oh, you straight tatted.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up is going to be my last chest piece on my right side, and then it's going to go into the other sleeve. And so I think at this point I've got about 60 hours worth of tattoo work on my whole body.
Wow.
Did it hurt?
The only one that hurt was right by my nipple. And a lot of people say it doesn't hurt.
What about
they're tough.
The most recent one, your inner arm?
I heard
that one's very painful too.
So I don't think it's really painful. It's more annoying. It gives you that sense that you're just sort of getting pinched, when you got pinched in the back of the arm. It's what it feels like. It's just stupid. It's not really a hurting pain. It's just an annoying.
And that's what
pain.
I hear. A lot of tattoos are just very annoying.
I think the worst thing that I've had to do so far, besides being towards the nipple, is the collarbone, because the machine vibrates and it causes your Adam's apple or your throat to get that sensation that you have to throw up. And so I was sitting there laying on my back.
That's good to know. Cause
that one is probably the worst one.
That's probably where I'm probably getting my left first. So
the closer they get to that collarbone, you're gonna.
Why? Your whole arm is basically forest theme. Why? Forest?
So it's realistically it's just a nature sleeve. It was all free-handed. The only thing that was stenciled on it was the deer there, and then there's a bear on the inside.
That's dope.
Everything else was free-handed. It was drawn on with Sharpie. I went with that theme. I was debating because I'm a big anime nerd. So I think on this arm I'm either thinking about doing an anime villain sleeve or just doing something crazy.
Would you do anything I know since you're in
a
anime,
Japanese a heritage thing?
Well, sorry, I didn't know because for people that don't know, you're mixed with.
So I'm half Thai, Thailand, and then I'm half white. I grew up in a family that my mom was adopted, so I don't really consider myself a motherland Asian person, but there's a little bit of heritage that follows still though. So
yeah, because I love the Asian Japanese culture, so I think it'd be really.
There's a lot of stuff that definitely is very unique and very beautiful. Yeah. So.
Cool. Sorry, you got the next question.
Yeah, you're good.
So, that you want to reveal? You don't have to tell us everything. You don't have to tell us anything. Just kind of what you want to reveal. What plans do you have set for yourself for 2020, or set for yourself you want to reach at a certain year or month or just point in time?
I think anybody right now, I just want to do better than my previous year.
Definitely.
At my age, I just turned 23 in October. I think financially I'm at an amazing place in my life. I don't think I'm unhappy with anything. I have a great relationship with my family, and I'm reconnecting with a lot of friends that I had.
You get emotional.
No, I love my work. Man. Yeah, man. I haven't seen some of these guys in a while, and it's just nice to connect with people I grew up with. And
beautiful.
I think goal-wise in this year, I'd like to. Obviously, everyone wants to make more money and do this. I don't think it's really a money standpoint. I think it's that I know my worth and I know that I can produce more work. And so I'd like to make 6 figures after taxes. I'm about 20,000 off right now. And so I think that it's very achievable, especially with the place that I'm at. They offer, amazing benefits and stuff like that. And so other than that, I'd like to just reconnect with friends. Getting out of high school and being in the relationship I was in, I disconnected real early. I wasn't on social media. It was real hard to stay connected with people and just have a life outside of work. And for that, probably
girls will get you.
They're killer guys, but
that P is power.
That
I ain't gonna say the word. That P is power, boy.
That's the truth. But
Get you do anything.
Now I've gotten to the point where I think
Always
I have a
around.
little more knowledge, and I think that now,
became wise. You became more matured. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I grew up a lot.
You
faster
live and you
than
learn.
most people, is my opinion. I just dove into my work and I applied so much time into it, and I think now is the time for me to sort of take a step
more
back.
of an end goal set, not necessarily a goal for 2020. You're looking more of a long-term goal.
Yeah. So I mean, I can only be happy with where I'm at. I don't think I really focus that much on the future. I like worrying about the present.
Yeah.
If I sit here and worry about the future, I won't be able to, invest in my present time.
Yeah.
And so you sort of get lost in what you're doing and what you're focusing on. You forget where you're at in your current life. And
Got the wise words of wisdom.
I just think that take life for what it is and enjoy your time with the people you have, because they're not always there. And if you have a passion for something, just take it with stride and approach it and just do whatever you got to do. And if people don't agree with it, then, at the end of the day,
it's your passion, not theirs.
Exactly. So, I mean, whatever it is, you just do it and you put your all into it. And you hear it all the time that, putting effort into everything, giving it your all, it's probably the truest thing you'll ever hear in your entire life. And so I just think that's all is, I put passion into it and I'm going to keep doing it. And I can only be as happy as I am right now. And at this point in my life, I couldn't be happier. So.
Yes, sir. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Opinionated Podcast Off Topic.
Yes, sir.
It's your boy, Devon Hefner, Boss Mustang. We're going to put all of his information down below in the description. If you want to check him out, Facebook, Instagram.
I don't have a Twitter.
No Twitter. Anything else?
Do you have business cards?
I do have business cards. I actually have some sweaters and T-shirts as well. If anybody wants.
You have a website?
Yeah, apparel.
No website. Well, I got apparel now, man. I got vinyl decals. If you want to stick them on your cars, and I've been doing a couple contests on Instagram. So if anybody doesn't follow me, feel free to.
Is that contest you entered still running right now?
So that one ended last month. I took the video, and I guess I just never put the video up, but I still have the live video of it. So I'm gonna end up posting it, but I'll be running another one at the beginning of this coming month. So to enter, all you'll have to do is just screenshot a story that I post on Facebook or Instagram, and add it to your story and just @ me on it. You'll be entered to win, and then the prizes are going to be free wheel wrap, 50% off a full vehicle wrap, trim wrap, or I will paint something as far as like a piece for your car, regardless, whatever it is. So save a bit of money, probably a couple $100. It's a free prize and it's free.
Yes, sir. Like I said, his link will be down in the description below. I'm your co-host, Carlos Mojica, your own boy Cam.
And if you want to see Carlos lose, just
they're
add me on
Carlos
Xbox, XX Boss Mustang.
They're going to see Carlos win. Y'all see a video of that in the future. We're out, guys. Peace.
Take it easy, guys.